All right, we can go ahead and get started because we're going to start with intros. So if anyone
Perfect.
is the beginning, that's not the end of the world. So welcome to our Reducing Toxins in the Classroom. If you are a teacher, if you are an administrator, if you are a parent, a grandparent, this event tonight is for you. I'll let Sam introduce herself. She's all dressed up in a nice shirt. I'm over here in a t-shirt. Oh,
Just
there we go.
nice, lovely collared shirt tonight. Yes. All right. Hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Go ahead and pop in the chat, share if you are a teacher or if you are an administrator or if you're a parent, what brought you here tonight? Go ahead and share that in the chat because I would really, and I know Chrissy would really like to see that as well. But my name is Samantha Cubes. I have over 10 years experience teaching in classrooms. I was actually brainstorming when I first started teaching all of the different teaching jobs that I had. And my first 3 years of teaching, get this, all at the same time, I was teaching PE, physical education, for children pre-K through 8th grade. I was also the music teacher for pre-K through 8th grade. I taught computer class for first, second, and third graders. I was the 6th grade homeroom teacher, so everything that involves being a homeroom teacher, making sure they were there, they're not tardy, are they absent, taking them on 6th grade field trips, all of that was my responsibility. I was also the athletic coordinator for the school that I worked at. I was the children's liturgical music coordinator for the school that I worked at. I was also the children's choir director and the children's bell choir director. So I completely understand what it is like to be an incredibly busy and overstretched teacher. That is a lot of work for one person to do. So I completely understand what it is like to teach minute to minute and juggle a bunch of different tasks at the same time. After I left classroom teaching, and I did that for about 5 years, I moved on to early childhood, where I started researching and being trained in early childhood development, how the brain develops. And more specifically, I got my certification in early childhood music. And so I taught that for about 7 years at Texas Christian University. So I have quite a bit of teaching experience, and I know all about the cleaning of the classroom and disinfectant wipes, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I've been there and I know exactly what it's like for all of those teaching responsibilities. I've been married for 13 years. Next month is my anniversary. We'll hit 13 years. I shared a picture of my family. We've got 2 kiddos. We have an angel baby between the two. And at this point, I am no longer teaching in a classroom. I've moved my education to talking with people just like you about the dangers of chemicals and harmful chemicals and the effects that they have on our bodies, and more specifically our children's bodies, because I have that education in early childhood development.
Love that. I specifically asked Sam to partner with me on this. This was kind of something that had been weighing on my heart for a long time, to help children get rid of chemicals. And not being a mom and not being a teacher, I did not feel like I had the subject matter expertise. And so I thought it would be great to partner together and get to educate and inform and do something a little bit special for all the amazing teachers. I've had so many teachers touch my life and do just amazing things, and they always go above and beyond. I realized I had a ton of customers that are teachers that, as soon as I explained the dangers of disinfectant wipes and toxins in the classroom, their eyes were wide open and they were ready to make a change, but needed help doing that. And so that's kind of where this idea came from. My name is Chrissy. I guess I should start with that. And I am an air traffic controller full time. I'm also a private pilot and a freelance aviation journalist. So if you ever see me, typing a whole lot, that's just my jam. Writing is my jam. I've been educating people on how to make safe swaps for their home for about 3 years now. And after I saw the glow germ demo, which we're going to show you tonight, I knew that it was my job to start educating and informing and showing people the better way, because I had been using so many of the products under my sink completely and entirely incorrectly. And when I realized, we were using them incorrectly when I was a kid in school, I was like, we can do better than this. My friend Wanda here, me in a pink wig, will be helping us with a little bit of the entertainment tonight and a little bit of the education. And I do live here in Texas with my husband, Brian. We're building our dream home right now. And that's our dog, BB, who at some point you will probably hear bark because that's what she does. um, so let's chat a little bit about what the big deal of toxins in the classroom is. Like, what is a toxin? Why do we care about it? And why is it so important to get them out of our classroom specifically? Sam, you want to kick us off with this?
Yes, I'd love to. Okay, so once I started doing some more research about harmful chemicals and making a safer switch with Norwex products, it was really helpful to have that background about child development. So this was pretty shocking to me, but children are actually 65 times more vulnerable to carcinogens and other harmful chemicals than adults are. And that's because children are still rapidly developing, they're rapidly growing at an exponential pace. So when they are coming into contact and absorbing these toxins from their environment, absorbing through the skin, absorbing through inhalation, absorbing through eating, there's all these different ways for chemicals to come into our kiddos' bodies. It is much more damaging to a developing kiddo than it is to an adult, because our bodies have slowed down in the rate of growth that we're having. Doesn't mean that adults aren't susceptible to harmful chemicals. It just means that our children are really susceptible. And that's what we're all about tonight, is protecting our kiddos.
Absolutely. This stat when I joined Norwex was pretty shocking to me, but a study found 287 chemicals in the cord blood of newborns, the one place that we are supposed to be super safe. And unfortunately, we have so many chemicals in our environment that we're exposing ourselves to, that we're also exposing our children, even in utero.
That's right. And I did teach through both of my pregnancies. So anything that I was being exposed to in the school, I was also exposing my kiddos to, not just at home, but also at school. So that's a really valid fact. This one right here, the World Health Organization links endocrine disrupting chemicals to increased rates of dyslexia, ADHD, autism, asthma, diabetes, and obesity. Let's talk just a second about endocrine disrupting chemicals and what that actually means. Endocrine disruptors are chemicals that have been scientifically proven to have an adverse effect on our endocrine system. The endocrine system in the body is responsible for hormone levels, hormone function. That's what it's designed to regulate. Okay. So when you have these bad juju chemicals, is what I like to call it, just kind of wrap it all up in a little ball and just call it bad juju, then it really has a negative effect on these hormone imbalances like ADHD, autism, all of those things. Infertility is also a big thing related to endocrine disruptors.
I'm gonna just pause here for just a minute and talk a little bit about, as a child, I was exposed to many chemicals. I had parents that worked. Looks like we have someone else in the waiting room. It like popped up and distracted me. Sorry. And I used disinfectant wipes inside my classrooms. Every Thursday night was cleaning night in my home. And so I was using these chemical cleaners as a child. I didn't know any better. I never took time to read the instructions. And then when I was 21, I was diagnosed with uterine fibroids, which is an endocrine based I don't want to call it a disease, but symptom. And so, because I had been exposed to all of these different chemicals, specifically the endocrine disrupting chemicals, for my entire life, I saw this side effect, uterine fibroids, at a very, very young age. At 24, I had them removed, and they were the size as if I was 16 weeks pregnant. So, what we put on our bodies, in our bodies, around in our environment really does make a huge difference, especially to our little teeny tiny children.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about training just a little bit. As teachers, we take bazillions amounts of trainings. I know, okay, all the different trainings, all of the different development courses that we have to take, especially during the summers on our times off, right? I'm with you. I got you. So anyway, but cleaners and how we are using them are really not trained on. And I have my own theories about why that is. We won't get into that this evening, but not many people actually turn around a container of cleaner, whether it be disinfectant wipes or glass cleaner, any kind of all purpose spray. No one really turns around and reads the directions, even though there are directions on the back. And I never read the directions either until about 4 years ago, when a friend of mine was like, "Hey, have you ever read the directions on how to use disinfectant wipes?" I was like, no, you just take it out and wipe and throw it away. Like, that's it. We'll get into that a little bit more, but we are not trained on how to use these cleaners that we are offered or that we are mandated to keep in our classrooms. Now, I will say that the school year after the quarantine happened, there were a lot of schools in my area, specifically preschools, which I found very, very interesting and hopeful about that. Preschools were trained on how to properly disinfect surfaces the school year after quarantine. That has really let up since then. And honestly, I'm not too upset about it, because disinfectants, we'll get into a little bit more, have to be used properly, but they really should not be used during the school day while our children are in there breathing in the fumes. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so just like Sam said, what is the big deal about disinfectant wipes, right? We wipe them on, it cleans the surface, not so much. I had never read the back of the directions, so this is coming from a shocked point of view, not a judgmental point of view. But I actually pulled the MSDS sheets up, which are like basically like the OSHA sheets that tell you what's in a product, what the warnings are, like what the chemical composition are. And I just pulled up one of the disinfectant wipes. And there is its EPA registered pesticide number. So it is a pesticide. If there is skin contact, it warns to wash skin with soap and water. So every time that you wipe a surface with a disinfectant wipe, you should be washing your hands thoroughly with soap and water. And this, just Google MSDS sheet for whatever brand you want. This particular photo, I actually took of one of the packages of disinfectant wipes that I have for demonstrations. And it literally says on the top grade of the package, precautionary statements, hazards to humans and domestic animals. So these are known to be harmful to us, yet they're available on the grocery store shelves. And we'll get into this a little bit more here in a minute, but very few products that are on our grocery store shelves are actually regulated. And those that are known to be harmful do have the warnings on the back, but we never ever actually read those warnings. So not for cleaning or sanitizing skin. Use enough wipes for the surface to remain visibly wet for 4 minutes. Some products are as long as 10 minutes. I don't know any teacher that has 4 or 10 minutes each school day to wipe down every single desk. To leave it wet long enough for 4 minutes. That is a long, long time. And then any surface that may come in contact with food, a water rinse is actually required. Sam, do you want to talk about how your teacher friends were using them as like personal wipes, like for their hands?
Oh, not just my teacher friends, it was me. It was me. No, I will fully admit, right? Okay. Again, when we know better, we do better. And I just didn't know. And that's okay. Because I know now, and that's why I continue to educate. So when I was teaching, I mean, we had, disinfectant wipes containers within the classrooms, within like the 5 different classrooms that I was teaching in at that point. And I mean, I would have the kids pull a disinfectant wipe out and wipe down the desks, especially during snotty nose season. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Snotty nose season is coming up, may already be upon us in some areas of the country. But I, even in my very young days, especially having little bitty babies at home, like newborns, I was very cautious of what germs I was bringing home. And so I would have my students pull a disinfectant wipe out and wipe down their desks or help me do the door handles and the light switches every day. And I would use them myself as well for door handles, light switches, my desk, all of that. Oh, no
Sorry.
worries. Wanda's popping in. Well, wait your turn, Wanda. Um, so anyway, but I use them a lot in the classroom and at home as well to keep surfaces sanitized. But now that I know better about how you are supposed to let disinfectants have a contact time in order to actually kill the germies and stuff that's down there, really with snotty nose season coming up, if you're using disinfectant wipes not properly, you're really just kind of irritating the germs that are on the countertop or on the desks and on the doorknobs, as opposed to actually killing them or just physically removing them from the surface.
Yeah, absolutely. So Wanda did not know the dangers of disinfectant wipes or how to properly use them. So we had a nice little chat here. Again, this is just for the entertainment purposes.
Wipes, sanitize.
Let me start it over. All right.
I think I'm gonna use some of these sanitizing wipes. Sanitize things. It's not really doing what you think it is. On the package, it says it kills 99% of bacteria. Only if you follow the instructions. Instructions? You just wipe it on and swish it around. Surface must remain visibly wet for 4 minutes. What? There has to be an easier way. Here, catch. What is this? Basically magic.
I love Wanda. She's so great.
Yeah, she is awesome. Just a little humor to, lighten the mood here. If you're using disinfectant wipes, now that you know better, you can do better. And Astrid, you were totally right that people still trust that these products are safe because they're sold in a store, which leads us to well, that's in a couple minutes, but small doses of these chemicals, while they might really not have an effect on us, they can have very measurable impacts on children. So it's kind of our job, now that we know better, to do better. Only adults with proper training and personal protective equipment. This looks like gloves if you're going to be using a lot of them, like you're going to be cleaning the whole room, respiratory support. If you're using any sort of spray, goggles. If you were to flip over like a bottle of bleach, it tells you to wear protective clothing, goggles, respiratory support, gloves. And it's like if you get anything on any of your clothes, immediately take them off and launder them. And children should never be allowed to handle disinfectant wipes. That is, if you learn nothing else from us tonight, please do not allow the children to use these. These are not meant for children. The container says, do not let children use them. I wish that someone would have known when I was a kid to not let me use them. And hopefully then my health problems would have been avoided, but we didn't know that. So let's talk a little bit about chemicals and the impact on our bodies, and also the regulatory aspects of it. Go ahead, Sam.
Sure. Okay. So overloaded by chemicals. I love that title that we've put on there. What most people refer it to is body burden. And it really is just exactly what it sounds like, the burden that your body holds on to while it's trying to self cleanse, right? Because our bodies are totally capable of cleansing bad stuff that comes into it. And Chrissy has a great video that she's going to share in just a minute, but there are more than 80,000 chemicals in existence today. Less than 200 have been tested by the FDA for their safety. That is a fact. Only 5 have been regulated by the FDA. That is a fact that you can look up as well. And the last time there was any kind of new law about chemical safety or about testing before these chemicals are allowed to be put into products and released to consumers was 1976. So from 1976 to 2022, there have been thousands upon thousands more harmful chemicals that we may not know are absolutely detrimental to our health, that are totally allowed to be put into the products that we are purchasing as consumers. And we really won't know what the effects of those are for about the time a chemical is released into the wild, I like to say, until it's true, but from the time a chemical is released into the wild until the time that research is done and people actually discover, oh, that was bad, we should probably stop using that, is actually about 40 years, give or take. It really does take that long. And of course, in that period of time, there's lots of damage that is to be done. We're not sharing this evening to scare you into like never using anything from a grocery store ever again. It's just a way to educate so that you can make better choices in the future. There's a lot of different types of bad juju out there, and it is absolutely impossible to rid yourself of all of it. But if you're aware of one that you can eradicate, go for it. And then when you're comfortable that you've eradicated cleaning bad juju, then you can move on to maybe food bad juju and go from there. Everybody starts their health journey from a totally different perspective, and we're just helping you guys discover the cleaning aspects right now. So
absolutely. So Sam and I actually went to a whole course on body burden at our national conference last month. And some of the stats and stuff that they were telling us was absolutely shocking. They did some human studies where they actually tested humans' poop, and they found more than, I think it was like 200 chemicals that are not registered as chemicals in the samples. So there might even be more than 80 or 90,000 chemicals in existence. And when that federal chemical safety law was made in 1976, everything that was on the market currently was grandfathered in and considered safe. When I'm talking to someone new about like how to make over your home, I relate it back to lead and asbestos. Like we used lead in everything, and we used asbestos in all of our building materials. And until it was, 15, 20, 30 years later, when we're like, oh, maybe we, should have tested that lead paint before we put it on children's toys. We are in an innocent until proven guilty society. So even the chemicals that we know are bad, right? The container says that they're bad, hazardous to humans and domestic animals, are still being allowed to be put on the shelves because they're just not regulated.
And just to interject really quick, it also doesn't help that those warnings are printed so microscopically small on the back of the bottle at the very bottom next to the barcode where you never look. It's icky. That's all I'm just gonna say. It's icky. All right.
And they're marketed as safe. Like, you want to keep your home safe, you want to keep your classroom safe. Like, this is the product you need to use. And unfortunately, that's not always true. And so we are the gatekeepers of our homes. We are the gatekeepers of our classrooms. This one really made me sad. This is the first generation to have a shorter life expectancy than the previous generation. So every time I talk to someone and they say, hey, I've used these my entire life and I'm fine, I ask, what about the next generation? Are they going to be fine? And so that's where the education of, it might be too late for us to make huge, huge changes, but that doesn't mean we can't be a great impact on the people coming behind us. We knew better. Why didn't we do better? Let's do better together. So we're done with the scary stats. We are now going to introduce a solution. Let's do better together. If you think of your body like this water pitcher here, your body is amazing and it's able to filter things out. You put in bad juju, it can pump a lot of the bad juju out. However, if you're putting in a lot of bad juju, sometimes our bodies can't keep up. And that's when we see the obesity, the asthma, cancer, uterine fibroids, PCOS. We see all of these diseases that we haven't seen in the numbers that we've seen 50, 60 years ago. Our bodies can keep up, but we have to slow that flow. We have to, instead of putting all this, only put this much in.
All right. So again, just like Chrissy said, it's not about going cold turkey and eradicating everything. It's about taking those small steps, which make a greater impact the more small steps that you take. So research shows, this is from the University of Bergen, cleaning with water and a microfiber cloth for most purposes is better than any chemical cleaner. And Dr. Cecile believes that it's a safer option. I'm going to agree and say that it is a much safer option. Microfiber and water really can do a lot. So we're actually going to show you. Oh, so we're going to introduce you to specifically Norwex microfiber. Norwex microfiber is actually the industry leader in the entire world. We are the best microfiber globally. And we say that with pride. We are the best. Yes, absolutely. Our microfiber is finer than any microfiber you'll find at Target or Walmart or Dollar Tree. And it's not that those microfibers aren't good and can do some cleaning, but our microfiber is scientifically tested to remove up to 99% of bacteria and other contaminants from surfaces just using water. It's very easy to use. Get it wet, give it a squeeze, wipe everything down, rinse it out, hang it up to dry. Because we also infuse microsilver into our microfiber. There's a lot of micros in this company, okay? We put microsilver in our microfiber. And what this does is it actually makes it antimicrobial. That is a term that a lot of people are actually used to hearing now, thanks to COVID and the quarantine. So people are more aware of what antimicrobial means. Basically means you can reuse Norwex microfiber for 7 to 10 days for cleaning purposes before you actually have to launder it to clean it and then continue to use it. It won't get that musty mildew smell because the silver prohibits the growth of bacteria, mold, and mildew within the cloth. So it's not the silver that's cleaning your surfaces, that's the microfiber physically removing the contaminants. The silver keeps your cloth clean so you can continue to use it day after day and not transfer said funkiness around.
Love that. Funkiness.
Funkiness. Because children come with a lot of funk, let me tell you.
Yeah, I can see that. So some other really awesome Norwex consultants provided these photos for us of the difference between using a sanitizing wipe and then following behind with a Norwex EnviroCloth. And as you can see, the Norwex microfiber picks up all of the grossness on that table. What's really interesting is that disinfectant wipes are literally only for disinfecting. They're not for cleaning. So we're always using them to clean, but it's not actually cleaning. So this little bad boy here, just get it wet, wipe down the tables, and you will see all the pencil dust, the crayons, the snot, all the things be picked up off of your surfaces. You can actually feel the difference, which I think is fabulous. When you wipe down your kitchen counter or your classroom table, it will feel clean. This other picture on the right is the difference between a sanitizing wipe with some glow germ powder, and the other side was wiped down. So glow germ powder, we're going to show you on the next slide in a video. basically just glows under a black light. It simulates germs. On the left, a sanitizing wipe was used, and you can see it just kind of pushed all the glow germ around. On the right, it actually picked up and removed all that glow germ powder. So pretty darn cool. There's another example.
So I want to talk about this slide for just a second. What we haven't really covered yet is the after effects of using chemical cleaners, or more specifically disinfectant wipes, because that is what most classrooms have on the classroom supply list and continue to ask for replenishments for throughout the year. Once you use a disinfectant wipe, you saw in the directions earlier where it says a potable water rinse is necessary to remove that toxic residue. That's really the big kicker. Not only is the chemical and the disinfectant and the endocrine disruptors being absorbed through the skin when you're not wearing gloves to clean with them, but if you're not rinsing or removing the residue from the surfaces, it's there to continue to touch. And especially in a classroom with kids, and I saw several of you in the chat saying that you're kindergarten teachers. I love teaching the littles, but where are their hands most of the time? Right in their little mouths, all the time, in the nose, in the mouth, or in their pants. That is where littles put their hands all the time. And if they are touching those chemical cleaners, it's going straight into the mouth. So they're not only absorbing these toxins through their skin, now they're also ingesting it as well and inhaling it. So they're getting the trifecta. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really powerful demo.
And that glow germ is actually used in aseptic training techniques. Okay, it's legit stuff.
I think that is probably the most powerful demo we can show you of when the disinfectant wipe comes back through and wipes the clean surface and deposits all the chemicals and all the glow germ. So that means if you go and you wipe down Sally's desk, and let's say she has a cold, and you wipe down Sally's desk with a disinfectant wipe, and then you go over to Tommy's desk and you wipe that down with that same disinfectant wipe, you just took all of Sally's snot germs or cold germs and put it on Tommy's desk. And then he's going to go and he's going to touch the desk. And he's going to get all those chemicals on his hands, put his hands in his mouth, and get all of Sally's germs and all that chemicals into his mouth. Versus the Norwex way. There are a couple different options for Norwexing your classroom. I really like this one up here, where every child, every desk gets a travel EnviroCloth of their own. So this is a smaller size versus our large full-size EnviroCloth with little command hooks on each desk. There's also the option to let the kids share. Sam, you want to talk? You probably are better at talking about this than I am.
No, I thought you were doing a fantastic job, actually. No, you can just see these are actual teachers just kind of showing how they've Norwexed their classrooms. There's really no wrong way to do this. And I want to go ahead and say at this point, if you still feel very strongly about using disinfectants because you want to have that extra protection or your extra germophobia, I get you, okay? The important thing is you also have this option to remove the toxic residue that you're leaving behind. That's one of the big things. Also, open the window. Let that air out of the classroom. I just knocked my water cup. Let it air out of the classroom so the kiddos aren't in inhaling the chemical as well. And like we've said in the past, or in, during this event that we've put on for y'all, please do not let the children use the disinfectant wipes. That is so, so important. Please protect them.
As far as caring for your disinfectant, or your disinfectant wipes.
Throw them away.
Yeah, throw them away.
Throw
That's
them
how you
away.
care for them. Caring for your travel enviro cloths or your full-size enviro cloths, when you're done using them for the day, run them under some hot water and kind of rub them together just a little bit. Get some of that gunk out, get the glue out of it, whatever the kids leave behind. Rinse it out really good, wring it out, and then hang it up to dry. And then that silver is going to go to work at purifying the cloth so it's ready to go for the next school day. Once every 2 to 3 weeks, bring them home and wash them in a filler-free, dye-free laundry detergent. You're going to want to use, we are partial to our laundry detergent because it does such a good job. And it doesn't have any of that bad juju that laundry detergent has, which is a whole nother session for us to talk about. When you get started with travel enviros with either myself or Sam, we will provide you a sample of the laundry detergent to try out so you can wash them for the first month or two. No dryer sheets, no fabric softener. You don't want anything that's going to gunk up the fibers. So that silver inside the cloth needs air to work. When you use a laundry detergent that has fragrance and fillers in it, it actually coats the cloth and makes it so that air can't get to the silver. So you're going to end up with stinky cloths, basically, that have to be laundered more often. We don't want that for you. We want this to be as easy as possible. So even if that means you have to do, a Norwex load in your sink or whatever once every 3 weeks or so, I would challenge you to do that because these will last you a long time when you take care of them well.
I want to talk. Oh, go back one more. Nope, go back.
That one?
Yeah, there we go. Nope, not that far.
I'm fired.
That was fabulous. Okay, here we go. This picture in the bottom right-hand corner, as a teacher, I know that first hearing this, wait, I have to get it wet, and then the children have to wipe it, and then they have to rinse it, and then they have to hang it up. This sounds like a lot of steps, and I know coming from a teaching perspective, I want quick and fast and easy that I can incorporate in my classroom. But I want to encourage you that this particular teacher right here from the picture in the bottom right, all she did was take a few days to train her students. She's got everything hanging up, ready to go right by the sink. Trained her students, okay, cleanup time at the end of the day or in the middle of the day, whenever she needed to do it. Go grab your cloth. The kids knew, get it wet, wipe it down, rinse it out, wring it out, hang it up to dry. And this classroom could knock out cleaning, like bomb cleaning the entire classroom, all the light switches, doorknobs, everything in just a couple of minutes and have everything back up. Children love routine, especially the younger they are. They love helping. They love new routine. They live and breathe for that stuff. So if you can keep a mindset of this may take a little while for them to learn, but once they learn it, it is a well-oiled machine and it just knocks itself out so quickly. And your whole classroom is going to feel cleaner. You're going to breathe better. The kids are going to love being able to help clean up. And the fact that our cloths are pretty colored really appeals especially to the littles as well.
Love that. One of the things that I think is fabulous is that disinfectant wipes are one and done. You use them once, you throw them away, versus these are going to last you at least 2 years. That is our warranty, it's 2 years. And ask parents for the fun stuff.
Oh, I added that in there. I snuck it in there for you. I'm sorry. This is again coming from a teaching perspective. I mean, once the disinfectant wipes are gone, like the school supplies you with like 2 at the beginning of the year. And then guess what? You have to replenish them yourself. Or I still to this day, because I have kids, they're in school, the doy, getting an email from the teacher every couple of weeks. We're out of disinfectant wipes. Who wants to buy some more for us? Or please provide our classroom with disinfectant wipes. And I never do, because I know that they're bad. And I offer, I think, did we skip over that part? No, that part's coming up. So I don't want to skip ahead too far. But anyway, as a teacher, instead of consistently asking your parents to help repurchase cleaning supplies, it's far more fun to ask them for the fun stuff that you need, like construction paper or books for your library, something like that.
I love that. So the change starts with us. What can you do today to make an impact? We want to challenge you to advocate for a change. So not only start reading the instructions and start asking other people if they're reading the instructions. And then advocate for personal protective equipment for those using chemicals. At my job as an air traffic controller, we are federal employees, and the cleaning crew is required to use specific chemicals inside the bathrooms, on the floors, blah, blah, blah. But every time I would go on break and they had just finished cleaning the bathroom, I would get a headache because the bathroom cleaner, the toilet bowl cleaner, was so strong. And so I went to my union representative and I said, I don't think that they're using these products correctly. I would like to learn what products they're using and see if there's a better way, like a more green cleaner that they could be using. And that is where our union representative and our FAA liaison worked together. And they actually realized that the cleaning crew was not diluting the chemical cleaners to the proper amounts. They were thinking, oh, I'm going to get this cleaner by using, less water and more cleaner. And that's actually not even true. There's ratios for a very specific reason. And so they started diluting them correctly. And guess what? I have no more headaches when I go on break. It's amazing what kind of change that we can make just by asking the right questions. If you are struggling with being that advocate at your children's school, at work, whatever, talk to one of us and let's empower you and give you the tools so you can be that advocate for your kids, for yourself, or for someone you love. Never let your kids use the cleaning supplies and use cleaning supplies and have an open and honest conversation with teachers and administrators. Again, if you need help going to the teachers and administrators, let us know. We have tools and resources to give you, and we'd be honored to work alongside you, whether that means getting on a Zoom call with them, if they're in the North Texas area, going to the school with you. This is our passion project, and we would love to be able to help you with that. Okay, so we're gonna first talk about teachers and how they can get these travel and viral cloths in their classrooms. And then we're going to talk about parents and grandparents, how you can help your teachers or your kids' teachers. You want me to do this one and you do the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So teachers, there are going to be 3 different ways that you can get these products into your classroom. The first way is to buy them. Whoever invited you, whether it was me or Sam, let us know. We have a Google form for you to fill out. And we have a very pretty little discount to give you to help make this a little bit more affordable. The second way, which I love, I have seen so many people, so many of my teachers' friends posting their Amazon wish list on their Facebook pages and their friends clearing out their Amazon wish list. I love that. So think of this like an Amazon wish list, but for travel and viral cloths. We have all the tools and resources for that set up for you. Just let us know that that's what you'd like to do, and we will get you set up with that and get you the cloths for your classroom. And then the last way, which I love, if you feel motivated to not only change your classroom, but also your home, you can partner with either one of us this month or next month and get free products for your home. So that's going to be like your cleaning supplies. There's some bathroom stuff in September's rewards. Basically, you're going to share Norwex, and basically what we did tonight, maybe a little bit different, but same sort of premise. Share the education aspect with your friends. And you're going to get products for your home. You're also going to get products for your classroom. If you have a qualifying $550 party with at least one booking, we will be gifting you 2 sets of travel and viral cloths, so that in one set there's 5. So that's 10 cloths for your classroom. And that's in addition to the hundreds of dollars worth of host rewards that Norwex is going to give you. We have the most generous host reward program I have ever seen. So I'll let you do this one, Sam.
Okay. As a mama, parents, best thing you can do is educate your kiddos on the dangers of chemicals, and of course make it age appropriate, right? If you feel drawn to make sure that you don't want your kiddos to be handling disinfectant wipes, you can just let them know that they have the right to say in their classroom, I don't want to touch that, or my mommy says I'm not allowed to touch that, right? That is totally fine for littles, okay? And they need to be respected for that choice. And I can promise you the teachers will reach out to you when your kiddo stands up for themselves, and they'll be like, what's going on here? And that's a great way to start conversation. You can also, if your classroom does not have travel and viral cloths, but you would like to equip your kiddo to protect themselves, then you can provide one travel and viral cloth for your kiddo. Just clip it like with a carabiner clip to their backpack so it never gets lost, and then they know that they can just get it wet and wipe down whatever they need to, their desk or a doorknob or lockers if they're using lockers. You can also include a wet one, like get it wet in the morning, put it in a Ziploc or in a reusable silicone sandwich pouch like I like to use in my house, and put it in their lunchbox in the morning. That way, when they go to lunchtime, they've already got a wet cloth ready to go, and they can just wipe off their hands or wipe off the tabletop. And especially if they're smaller, their friends are going to be like, dude, what's that? Can I wipe my hands with it? And now you are sharing the wealth, okay, by allowing your kiddos to share that. Just make sure you tell them that they have to come home with it. Don't gift it to a friend, okay? And then you can also educate your children's teachers about the dangers of chemicals. At the beginning of every school year for Meet the Teacher Night, I actually put together a nice little gift for all of my kiddos' teachers. My daughter's in 5th grade now, so she has like 3 different teachers that she rotates to. And I gifted all 3 of them a travel and Viro cloth, as well as a Starbucks gift card, some lip balm, some hand lotion, all non-toxic stuff that I love. So it gives them a really nice something personal for them, and then also a travel and Viro cloth with a small little blip about what it's for and why it's important. And then I offer to sponsor that specific classroom myself because it's my kiddo's classroom. I'm like, I'll provide these for you if you choose to use them and protect our kiddos. All right. If you need help with some of that verbiage, maybe just ask me. I'm happy to share with you the little card that I provide them. And then, oh, I kind of already talked about that, sponsoring your kiddo's classroom. That kind of blended in together. So yeah, if you want to do that, all you have to do is ask Chrissy or ask me, and we're happy to help you with materials. We can email you verbiage so that you can print it out yourself. We're definitely here to help you.
Yep. This is a lot of words here, but the basic premise of it is not every classroom is going to be the perfect classroom. You can, gift a whole set. I think we were talking about this, Sam. You can gift them a whole set of travel and viral cloths, 20 for the classroom, and sometimes the teacher is still not going to use it. And so option 1 is, we really hope that classrooms will be that way, but that's not always true. The other option is to have, enough travel and viral cloths for the students to share, or just one for your student to take with them and wipe down their own desk, their own lunch space. It's not going to always be perfect. We live in a world where it's not going to be, but that doesn't mean that we can't advocate and start the process and start the change, even if it's just with one student. All right, we're going to open this up to questions. You can put it in the chat. Let's see if there was anything else in the chat. Um,
I've been watching it. I didn't see any questions dropped in the chat, but if you would like to unmute yourself and ask a question, you're more than welcome to, or if you would prefer to type it in the chat and we can answer it that way, that's totally fine as well. Oh, there we go. Or if you do not have any questions, you can also put that in the chat. Like, I'm all good. Thanks, you guys. That was great information. Anything that you would like to share is totally fine with us.
and this recording will be available after the fact. We'll be sharing it with our Facebook communities. So you can share the wealth and send it to other people. I know we kind of went long, but as you can tell, we are passionate about helping the kiddos.
Absolutely. Thank you, Astrid. Absolutely. That is what we're here for. Again, just like Chrissy said, we are clearly passionate about what we do and about advocating for the littles and their health, for sure.
Good. I'm glad you like them, Marissa, and I'll make this recording available if you want to watch the beginning of it. Marissa's on my team, and she has all the grandbabies. I think they're all still a little bit little for school, but it'll be soon when they're going to school, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
She loves the baby body pack or the baby towel set.
Right,
Oh,
the baby bundle.
the baby
love it.
bundle. Yes, absolutely.
I think she sets the record for the most baby bundles sold ever.
I love it. All right. Well, if there are no further questions, we will not keep you guys any longer. Chrissy, was there anything that you wanted to add here at the end?
No, I don't think so. I think this was great. Thank you for attending. And if you have any questions, let us know, okay?
Perfect. You'll have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.
Bye.